Speaking of jobs, in yet another of the most unlikely political moves, activist and law academician Professor Makau Mutua has joined President William Ruto's government as a senior advisor on constitutional affairs. Professor Makau, who is former Prime Minister Raila Odinga's close associate, defies the background of his withering attacks on President Ruto to take up an appointment that places the former critic in the center circle of President Ruto's power orbit. Brenda Wanga reports on an evolution that sends further signals of President Ruto's and Raila Odinga's ongoing broad-based bromance.
By joining President William Ruto's bloated stable of advisors, Professor Makau Mutua completes what was until the broad-based government an unlikely journey into government. Professor Mutua has, in the duration of his political career, stuck with the opposition and its leader, Raila Odinga. Makau, who gained his academic stripes from the University of Nairobi and Dar es Salaam before transiting to the prestigious Harvard University, where he earned his master's in law and doctorate in science of law, has also served as the dean of law at the State University of New York. But beyond academia, Mutua has also delved into politics, championing the fight for basic freedoms and democratic ideals, traits that landed him into Raila Odinga's opposition camp, where he served as the head of his 2022 presidential campaign think tank and as Azimio spokesperson.
Mr. Odinga is Kenya's foremost living liberator. Without even question. As I said on another program the other day, he is our Nelson Mandela.
And I answered you.
On the opposite side, wait a minute.
He's our Puthulezi.
Wait a minute. On the opposite side, you have a precocious young man who has never sacrificed for a single day, who cannot explain his worth.
Professor Mutua was a blistering critic of President Ruto. In the run-up to the 2022 general election, Professor Makau wrote a sharp critique in response to what he said was an overture from Ruto's camp that he couldn't and wouldn't work with Ruto. Never, ever. But that position is now water under the bridge as the liaison between President Ruto and Raila Odinga continues to occasion broad-based surprises. Professor Makau, one of Raila's closest confidants, now worms his way to the center of the Ruto administration as a senior presidential advisor. The man who once served as the chair of a task force that birthed the Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission, a delegate to the Constitutional Conference and advisor to the anti-corruption czar John Githongo and former chairman of the Kenya Human Rights Commission, now finds himself in the innermost circle of a man he was highly critical of. In appointing Mutua to his group of advisors, President Ruto termed Makau as someone who had a wealth of experience in legal, constitutional and human rights matters. Mutua, in accepting that role of senior advisor of constitutional affairs in the office of the president, promised to serve the president and Kenyans with honor and distinction. His appointment, however, has drawn mixed reactions, with many faulting him for accepting it. He has, however, in a rejoinder on his X handle, defended himself, stating that he has spent his life in law at the highest levels and couldn't think of a better way to serve Kenya. Brenda Wanga, Citizen TV.